We're joined today by Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Rod Argent, member of the Zombies. They've got a new album out. It's called Different Game. Rod, how's it going today?
Yeah, pretty good, thank you. Getting over jet lag and just been here in the States 3 days and starting to feel human again.
Excellent. Well, it's an honor speaking with you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, it's a great pleasure, Dustin. Thank you.
Well, I know the Zombies have a new album coming out, Different Game. Can you tell the listeners a bit about the new album?
It was a very carefully planned album in the sense that leading up to our Rock and Roll Hall of Fame induction in 2019, we felt the band had never sounded so good, and we couldn't wait to get back into the studio and start recording a new album. Now, we had it very much as an overriding philosophy, if you like, that we wanted to go back to a very old way of recording. In the old days, there was only one way to record. You all had to be in the studio at the same time. You only had 4 tracks when we started, so everyone had to play together. But when you do that, rather than using, the techniques that we all know of overlaying stuff and putting down a drum track and then a bass track and then doing things that way, which you can get accurate and you can get some great results doing that. I mean, I've recorded many things in my life in that way. But we thought we want to go back to that situation where the whole band is in the room at the same time, and we capture a little bit of magic, because we get a tape when everything seems to be working. Everyone is listening to each other, and they minutely change what they're playing by listening to other people and responding to it, including Colin's guide vocal, and he just changes slightly the way he sings because he can hear all of us, and we minutely change what we're playing because we can hear him and we can hear everybody else, and then all we do is often add some harmonies afterwards. But we wanted to go back to that, and we did. And also, we wanted to get a situation where we were... I'd written 9 of the 10 songs on the album, and I wanted to get back to the philosophy we had with Odyssey and Oracle, because Chris Wyatt and I, at that time, felt that our previous songs that we were recording, the producer hadn't got the atmosphere and the ideas and how we sounded, how the song sounded in our minds. They hadn't managed to get it on tape. And we were very disappointed. We felt we had to try and get our songs down in the way that we heard them. And so we produced that album ourselves. We had a control over everything. We wanted to do that same thing once more with this album. We did it in my studio, which had just been finished, and we'd had the guy that did the Abbey Road control rooms do all the acoustic engineering in my studio. It's only a small studio, but just set up for us. And we had control over the whole process, and we felt that we ended up with an album of songs. Certainly, when I'd written a song and then played it to Colin, and we got excited about it, and then played it to the band, and we rehearsed a little bit, we captured that, we felt, in a way that we hadn't since Odyssey and Oracle. So we were really knocked out with it, and the early industry reaction has been absolutely wonderful, and a lot of people have actually said they feel it's the best album we've made since Odyssey and Oracle. So it's wonderful to hear that and to feel that we've actually got songs down in the way that we heard them before we started to record.
Yeah, that's awesome. Definitely, from what I've heard so far, it has a modern sound to it, but also the classic Zombies sound. And it's been about 60 years since the Zombies were formed, and it sounds like you guys have definitely gotten some tricks along the way, and your approach to recording and songwriting is definitely as strong as ever.
Well, that's very kind of you to say, and we feel, I feel personally that these are some of the best songs, certainly in the way that they've been realised on record that I've written, I feel it's the best album that we've done since Odyssey and Oracle. So it would be wonderful if some people agree with that, but some people do seem to be agreeing with that at the moment. So it's lovely to hear you say about your initial reaction too. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And I know you mentioned you're in the States now. I know the Zombies have a few shows here and then you guys are going back overseas. Will you be adding maybe more shows here in the U.S. later this year?
I would think it's very much on the cards. I mean, last year, unbelievably, we did 75 gigs because it was post-COVID. An awful lot of those were in America, and also on a couple of cruises, rock and roll cruises that we did, which is always good fun. So yes, I would think, possibly in the autumn, we may be coming back. But that's up to the management and us all to plan together, really, after this initial response, because it's been very exciting doing the new documentary as well. So that, we've had a lot of creativity on our plate.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that. Besides the new album, the documentary, Hung Up on a Dream, coming out as well. Will the fans maybe have a chance to see that? Is it going to be streaming or on DVD maybe?
We hope it's going to be on DVD. I mean, the director is Robert Schwartzman, who is part of the Coppola family, and the executive producer is Tom Hanks. So there's a really good pedigree behind it, and I think the idea is, if we can, it would be lovely to be streamed on Netflix or something, Netflix or Amazon Prime or one of the streaming platforms would be great. But we have to wait and see about that. But I've only just seen the final cut, and I think basically it's great. It's fast paced, it's amusing, and it's very moving in places as well. You'd have to see it to know what I'm talking about, really. But I loved my first reaction to it, so I hope people share that.
Excellent. Yeah, it's definitely great that the new album is being received so well, and the Hall of Fame induction and the documentary. I mean, you guys have influenced so many people over the years, and it's great that you're finally starting to get these recognitions that you guys deserve. Well,
I mean, it's very kind of you to say that, and it just feels brilliant. And Colin and I often joke that it feels like we're an emerging rock band.
Well, Rod, is there anything else maybe coming up? I know you've got a lot on your plate already, but something else maybe in the works?
That's enough for me, just at the moment. I've only got enough energy to really go, which has always been true of me, really, to concentrate on one main thing. And, I like to give it everything that I've got. But working with the Zombies and with a great bunch of guys, and with Colin singing, his voice has changed a little over the years, as is natural, and as you get older, it changes. But I think in many ways it's stronger, and it's just as effective as it ever was. We do everything in the original keys. We sing in the same ranges as we've always done, and while we can, we want to just enjoy that creative satisfaction that we get.
Excellent. Rod, again, thank you so much. It's been an honor speaking with you. I'm a huge fan of the Zombies, like most people are, and I loved your solo stuff as well, and it's been great speaking with you.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much for that. Thanks. Bye.
And again, that was the one and only Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Rod Argent of the Zombies. Their new album, Different Game, is out now, and their new documentary, Hung Up on a Dream, coming out as well.